Bluey is a show where some characters instantly make you smile. Some make you want to change the channel. And there are even some characters in the show that make you question whether you should love them. Or hate them. But don't worry, because in today's video, we're going to talk about Bluey's most loved versus most hated characters. And the pattern will go something like this. One hated character, then one loved character. And you'll also find out why they're so loved, and why they get so much hate. So let's get started, and make sure to subscribe to the channel because this video is going to be crazy. Character 1, Judo. Hate level, competitive, and overwhelming. Alright, let's kick things off with a character who is one of Bluey's closest friends, but who fans online consistently called the most problematic character in the show. That character is Judo. Judo is a Chow Chow puppy. She's athletic, she's talented, she's confident, very confident, and that's exactly the problem. If you pull up any Bluey character tier list online, there's a very good chance Judo is sitting somewhere near the bottom. Why? Because Judo's behavior follows one very specific pattern. She's always better. At everything. Faster, stronger, more skilled. And she doesn't do it quietly. She makes it very obvious. In one episode, Bluey and Judo play together, and Judo's natural instinct is to compete, to prove she's better. She's not collaborative by default, she's competitive by default. Now, is that realistic for a kid? Absolutely. Plenty of kids are exactly like that. But Bluey is a show where characters grow, where they learn lessons. And Judo's arc in that department is painfully slow. The audience finds Judo frustrating specifically because Bluey is so collaborative, so imaginative, so inclusive in how she plays. And then Judo walks in, and suddenly the whole energy turns competitive. That clash, Bluey's inclusive imagination versus Judo's competitive nature, is what makes fans uncomfortable. Let me know in the comments, did you find Judo frustrating too? Or is it just me? Character 2, Rusty. Love level, quietly heroic. Now for our first loved character, and this one might surprise you. Rusty is arguably the show's most underrated character. He's an instantly recognizable red kelpie pup who brings bold, daring energy to the group. In the Army episode, Rusty's military-themed play shows his love for structured, adventurous scenarios.
Soldier, you have to go to basic training, where you learn all the stuff from your drill sergeant. That's me.
His enthusiasm and bravery make him a natural leader. But what makes Rusty truly special is his backstory. And honestly, this one hits personally. Rusty's dad is in the military, and because of his long absences, Rusty often feels alone. But he idolizes his father. Playing Army-themed games makes him feel closer to his dad, and it also becomes his way of connecting with his friends. And that's powerful. A kid who misses his absentee father and finds a way to stay connected to him through imagination. For military families who understand what long absences really feel like, Rusty is a deeply personal character. He doesn't complain, he doesn't create sad episodes, he just plays. And in that play, we understand all his pain and all his love. That's quietly heroic in the best possible way. Honestly, the show should have given Rusty more episodes, because every single time he appears on screen, he matters. The underrated characters who quietly matter are always the best ones. Character 3, Stripe. Hate level, the frustrating dad. Now this character, Stripe, is the one who specifically frustrates parents watching the show. Stripe is Bandit's brother, Muffin's dad, part of the extended Healer family. On the surface, Stripe seems fine. He's family-oriented, he's present, he cares. But his parenting style? That's where things get specifically problematic. There's a very clear pattern with Stripe and Trixie's parenting. They consistently struggle to manage Muffin. In one episode, Trixie basically checks out. I have somewhere to be, and Stripe is left alone trying to handle one of Muffin's tantrums, and he fails, again and again. But what genuinely frustrates fans is this. Stripe is never properly held accountable. He struggles, he fails, but the show keeps vindicating him without him actually growing. And there's one specific thing that makes Stripe so different from Bandit. Bandit is also an imperfect dad, but Bandit tries. Bandit adapts. Bandit listens. Stripe? Stripe competes. With Bandit. Literally with his own brother. He's constantly trying to prove he's better. At squash, at parenting, at literally everything. And that insecurity, that constant need to prove himself, makes him exhausting as a character. Parents who watch Bluey draw inspiration from Bandit. From Stripe? They just sigh. He's a reminder that competitive parenting helps nobody. Not the parents, not the kids. Stripe is a cautionary tale, wrapped in a Healer family member. Character 4, Chilli love level. Real mom energy. Now this character, Chilli, is the one who specifically resonates deeply with mothers. And honestly, Chilli is just personally very cute to me. Mostly her voice. I just love it. Chilli is Bluey and Bingo's mom. She fully participates in her daughter's games, but she's also the level-headed one in the house. But what makes Chilli genuinely revolutionary is this: she's not a perfect mom. Chilli completely breaks the mom stereotype, the always patient, always nurturing type. In multiple episodes, Chilli is shown getting short-tempered, frustrated, overwhelmed by her own kids. She teaches us that moms need timeouts too. I want 20 minutes where nobody comes near me. That's what she told Bandit when he walked in the door. And that line, that single line, went viral in the US. Because how many mothers feel exactly that every single day? And can never say it because good moms aren't supposed to get exhausted? Chilli said what millions of mothers feel but can never express. And in the show, both parents, Bandit and Chilli, equally share the emotional and domestic labor. It's shown subtly but effectively. And that equal partnership, that genuine team effort, is aspirational for the audience. Because in real life, achieving that balance is incredibly hard. Chilli is the mom we all want to see represented. Real, flawed, trying her best, and genuinely amazing. Also very cute. Is there a Chilli-like mom in your life? Let me know in the comments. Honestly, I just hope my future wife is exactly like her. Hey guys, pause for just a second. Before we get back to the video, I wanted to share something quickly. I recently ordered a Bluey coloring book, and honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be this good. The characters look exactly like they do in the show, the details are amazing, and sitting down to color with the kids was genuinely so much fun. If you want to give it a try, it's only $3 to $4. Link is tagged below. Just try it once. You won't regret it. Promise. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Character 5, Wendy. Hate level, the passive-aggressive neighbor. Now this is a character very few people talk about. I don't bring her up much either, because honestly, the more you talk about her, the more weirdly uncomfortable it gets. But the people who do talk about Wendy, they feel very strongly. Wendy, the healer family's neighbor, Judo's mom. She is, honestly, the most passive-aggressive adult character in the entire show. Wendy's behavior follows one very specific pattern. She's always around when something interesting is happening. She always has a comment, subtle, backhanded, just saying style. She's never directly confrontational, but she's also never genuinely supportive. In one episode, Chilli is feeling insecure about her parenting, and Wendy's response is something that technically sounds helpful, but actually makes Chilli feel worse. And that's a skill. A very specific and very annoying skill. Wendy represents those people in your life who seem concerned, but are actually judging you. Who give helpful comments, but every comment has a subtle, "I'm better than you," hidden inside it. Parents know this energy personally. That neighbor, that school parent, that one person at every family gathering. Wendy is that person, in animated form. And honestly, if the show had given her more screen time, she would have been the most interesting villain in the series, without ever actually doing anything evil. Is there a Wendy in your life? Tell me in the comments. And if there is, are you keeping a close eye on her behavior? I mean, are you observing her patterns closely? Character 6, Blue. Love level. Main character done right. Now the main character, Bluey herself. Bluey is a 6-year-old blue heeler puppy who is curious and endlessly energetic. Now, loving the main character might seem obvious, but here's what's interesting. Bluey's love is earned. It's not automatic. Unlike Peppa Pig, who became a meme despite being the main character, Bluey is actually a genuinely complex character. She's imaginative, deeply, genuinely imaginative. Her games are elaborate. Her stories are rich. She sees the world from an angle that most adults have completely forgotten. But she's also imperfect. Sometimes she's selfish. Sometimes she's pushy. Sometimes she just wants to play her game and doesn't notice what others around her are feeling. And the show never pretends otherwise. She's a real kid, and real kids have these qualities, good and bad both. What makes Bluey truly amazing is that she shows growth. Not necessarily episode to episode, but across the arc of the series, she becomes a little more empathetic, a little more aware. She is the show's central theme made alive, the influence of a supportive family. A loving family shown raising a curious, energetic child without making her perfect. And that's beautiful. A main character who actually earns their title is rare, and Bluey earns it every single episode. Character 7, Muffin. Hate level, tantrum queen. Okay, now we get to the character with the most debate around them on the entire internet. Muffin. She is loud, she is obnoxious, and she is often the antagonistic force in the show. Even the most dedicated Bluey fans sometimes just cannot handle Muffin.
I need a tutu! Muffin, we're gonna start!
Who's that Pokemon?
It's
Muffin?
Muffin gets compared to Angelica Pickles from Rugrats, brash, spoiled, tantrum-prone. And on the surface, that comparison is fair. But here's the plot twist. Muffin is actually one of the most realistic characters in the show. She behaves exactly the way a 3-year-old toddler actually behaves. Toddlers are loud, sometimes destructive, and they almost always need help processing their emotions. So here's a genuinely interesting question. Do we hate Muffin because she's badly written? Or because she's written too accurately? My honest take? She's accurately written. The Muffin Cone episode, where Muffin wears a cone and throws an absolute tantrum, is the most visceral depiction of her character. And honestly, even adults feel genuinely uncomfortable watching that episode. But Muffin is not mean-spirited. She's not actually cruel. In the Grannymobile episode, we also see her kind and considerate side. So Muffin is complicated. She's annoying, genuinely. But she's realistic, genuinely. And maybe, just maybe, we hate her because she reminds us of our own toddler years, or our own kids, or our younger siblings. There's a Muffin in everyone's life. Let me know in the comments, is Muffin just irritating, or is she actually relatable? Character 8, Bandit. Love level, best cartoon dad ever. And now, the most loved character, who, honestly, no contest, is the best character in the entire show, Bandit Healer. Bandit is an archaeologist who takes every bit of energy he has left after interrupted sleep, work, and household chores, and pours all of it into inventing and playing games with his 2 daughters. Now that description sounds cute, but what makes Bandit truly iconic goes much, much deeper. Bandit and Chilli have completely transformed the parental archetype in animated media. They are fully realized, grounded characters. Bandit is the dad we all deserve, and he is the dad most real fathers secretly want to become. He's tired, genuinely tired. Sometimes he just wants to sit on the couch and watch cricket. He's imperfect. He makes mistakes, but he always tries. And that trying, that consistent effort, is what makes Bandit magical. David McCormack, Bandit's voice actor, has himself admitted that animated Bandit is a better dad than he is in real life. He's shared that Bluey episodes have actually influenced his own parenting approach. Think about that for a second. A voice actor taking parenting tips from his own character. Bro, maybe you need to take some notes too. Bandit has inspired an entire generation of fathers. What engaged parenting actually looks like. What being truly present means. Bandit even shows up in viral memes. Bandit Healer is the father we all deserved. He's not just a cartoon character, he's a movement. Character 9, Coco. Hate level, my way or no way. Now this character, Koko, is one who seems perfectly fine on the surface, but when you look closely, a very specific pattern starts to emerge. Koko is a pink poodle, an old friend of Bluey's. They've known each other since childhood, and their moms are friends too. So this is an established, long-term friendship. But Koko has one very specific issue. She doesn't follow rules. She has her own rules, her own way, and if a game isn't going the way she wants, she either disrupts it or simply refuses to participate. The games Bluey creates are elaborate, creative, inclusive. There's room for everyone. But the moment Koko arrives, the dynamic shifts. She brings her own agenda, her own conditions. And what genuinely frustrates fans is this: Koko never acknowledges it. She doesn't realize she's draining the group's energy. She simply exists in her own reality. That unaware type of difficult behavior, that's actually the worst kind, because you can't directly call it out. She's not deliberately mean, she's just Koko. And we all know a Koko. That friend who always brings complications to group plans, who always says, but what about this instead? Who has genuinely good intentions, but consistently drains the fun out of everything. Koko is that person, in animated form. Character 10, Bingo. Love level, underrated gem. Now this character, Bingo, honestly doesn't get nearly enough credit. Bingo is Bluey's little sister, 4 years old, later 5. Sweet, sensitive, curious. Her favorite toy is a stuffed rabbit named Floppy. Now loving Bingo might seem obvious, and personally let me say this, I genuinely adore Bingo. Like literally every time I'm feeling sad, I just want to give her a hug. Her voice, her cuteness, it's just so sweet to me.
Pickles and he has cheese. Burger dog, fluffy bun with some sesame seeds.
But anyway, back to the point. Yes, she's adorable, she's sweet, but there's actually something much deeper here. Bingo always lives in Bluey's shadow. The show is called Bluey. The main character is Bluey. The attention goes to Bluey. But when Bingo gets the spotlight, she genuinely shines. The Turtle Boy episode, where Bingo processes the grief of losing her turtle, is honestly one of the most emotionally powerful episodes in the entire show. A 4-year-old learning to deal with loss, that hits adults just as hard. The Bingo episode gives us her perspective in a way that is genuinely moving. And what makes Bingo truly special is that she is emotionally intelligent. She notices feelings, her own and everyone else's. She is sensitive in a way that isn't a weakness, it's a strength. In real life, so many kids relate to Bingo. The quieter ones, the less loud ones, the ones living in the shadow of their imaginative older sibling, but carrying an entire world inside them. Bingo is the representation for those kids, and that representation matters. Bluey is amazing, but Bingo? Bingo is the character who genuinely completes the show. Underrated? Absolutely. Deserving of more love? Without question. And with that, let's wrap up this video. Bluey started in 2018, and over these years, this show has done something very few shows ever managed to do. It made parents feel like their struggles are valid. It made kids feel like their imagination matters. It showed a dad like Bandit, tired, imperfect, but always trying. It showed a mom like Chilli, frustrated, but always coming back. Which character was your favorite? And which one irritated you the most? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe if you want more videos like this.